Shalom, everybody. What it do? What it do? What it do? Hope everybody's doing good. I just wanted to address a couple of things. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now. I'm gonna address this situation, and then today's gonna be the last day that I address it publicly. I ain't gonna be going back and forth. And I'll show you brothers and sisters as to why I'm not gonna be going back and forth. I'm gonna speak on this one last time, and then I'm gonna be done with it. But what I'm gonna be addressing is some of the things that's been coming out, you know what I'm saying, as of late. That really have nothing to do with anything. Just brothers talking or whatnot. It ain't got nothing to do with sin or nothing like that. So I'm just going to address that real quick, and then throw out some other things, and then I'm going to be, like I said, I'm going to be done. I'm going to read this scripture first. This is 1 Timothy 5. I'm going to read it in the Good News. 1 Timothy 5, verse 19. I'm going to start at 19. It says, "Do not listen to an accusation against an elder, unless it is brought by 2 or more witnesses. Rebuke publicly all those who commit sins, so that the rest may be afraid." So it charges us. The word tells us that we can't bring forth any type of accusations against an elder unless there are witnesses, whether the witness be themselves, whether it be witnesses obviously of people who seen it themselves, or if you have a conversation with someone about a situation, they have to produce some kind of evidence as to why they're saying what they're saying. It has to be proof. It has to be evidence, because it's a strong charge when you are speaking against an elder, because you can damage somebody's reputation. Let me get that definition for y'all real quick. Accusation. Accusation. Accusation is the act of charging with a crime or offense. The act of accusing of any wrong or injustice. So if you're making an accusation of somebody, you're saying that they committed a sin, they committed a crime, they did a wrongdoing, meaning they're lying. They're lying. They have to be lying. Or it says, or injustice. It's not justified what they're saying or what they're doing, because I didn't sin against anybody. I didn't commit no offense against anybody. I didn't commit a crime against anybody. And then the accusation also means that, again, evidence has to be put forth. So if I accuse you of something, I have to come forth and produce proof. Or if I say, yeah, man, I charge this brother, man, this brother's doing this, that, and the third to somebody else, or, to his wife or to his brother, I have to be able to produce evidence to show that these things have happened. Especially, again, when you're dealing with an elder. We can't do these things unless there's some kind of proof to show that what we're doing is accurate. Otherwise, it's irresponsible, and the Lord is going to deal with us for not proving sin, not proving a charge against someone. It says accusation and slander are among the sin that so easily besets God's children. So it says accusation and slander are among the sin, because if you accuse somebody, again, it says you accuse somebody of a crime or an offense, or they actually wronged when they didn't wrong anybody, or it's unjustified what you're doing. The Lord counts that as a sin when you try to do that against someone. It says, again, accusation and slander are among the sin that so easily besets God's children. Slander means to injure by speaking ill of, false charges, or misrepresentations which defame and damage another's reputation. So when you going against an elder, that's why it says you got to have witnesses. You got to have proof. You can't just say something. Hey, shalom, Milo. What's good, bro? You can't just charge somebody with something, man, and then just be able to walk away without proving it and then without showing it. With that being said, everything that we've said in the with what's going on between myself, Judah, Maharakah, and Hanasar, for the most part, those are the most parties. Everything that we've said has been based off of sin. Speaking for myself, the only thing that I've spoken about is the brother has been abusing his wives. I have proof of that because I've seen it with my own two eyes. There's been witnesses. Also, Judah's gone to his house and seen the offense. It's happened in my Airbnb. I've had conversations with the brother about certain things, and he refuses to listen. And he'll convince you, brothers and sisters, that he hasn't done anything. But again, I'm gonna have to show y'all some evidence again because it makes no sense. Because I'm just not going to accuse the brother. I'm gonna show y'all that none of the stuff that we saying is not made up. I understand that marriages have trouble in the flesh. I get it. We all have that. But when you have a history of abusing women, and the women come forth and they say, nah, man, he's put his hands on me, and here's the proof that he's put his hands on me. That's another level. Especially if any of us who call ourselves teachers and leaders, that should not be named among you. No one should ever be able to say that, hey man, this elder has been beating women. Hey man, this elder has 7, 8 women out in the world. Hey, these women have restraining orders against him. As an elder, that should not be named amongst any of us. Any of us. I don't have that charge against me. Judah don't have that charge against him. Hanasar don't have that charge against him as well. But when you have the actual charges and the proof and the evidence against you, hey man, that's a problem. That should not be named among you as an elder. And again, I'm a read some evidence to show out of this own brother's mouth, because he'll tell you, brothers and sisters, that nah man, we were just playing. Nah man, he has a history of beating women. He has a history of that. Not in the world, because I don't even have to go back out into the world. I'm talking about since he's a believer. Because in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, when you come into the truth, you should have a clean slate per se. You still working on your demons and stuff like that. But, we all want to be looked at differently once we come in and we call ourselves a new creature. Man, the stuff that I'm speaking of, this is happening now. This has happened 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. This brother been in 30 years and he still has been beating women. Like, I have a problem with that. That's not speaking against somebody's house. That's evil, man. Like, none of us as a leader and a teacher, none of us should have those charges anyway. We can't sit here and say, man, I did it because I was drunk. Well, the scriptures say we ain't supposed to be drunkards like that. I myself have drank. I myself have felt really good. But I've never hit a woman because I was drunk. Because if it comes to that, to where I'm drinking alcohol and then I put hands on somebody, then I need to stop drinking then. That means I can't control my liquor. None of us should have these charges as men and teachers to the people. We supposed to be looked at as different. So again, I'm gonna read and I'm gonna show you, bro. I'm gonna show it to y'all. To show y'all, man, I'm only addressing sin. The brother has called me every kind of name under the sun. I don't mind that. You can call me Goro, you can call me fat, you can talk about my wife, you can talk about all that. That shit don't bother me. Sin is what I want to be addressed as. If I'm in sin, I want every brother who knows me to address me and tell me, hey, Mosh, you in the midst of sin. That way I can allow me to look at that and address the sins that I'm carrying. But that's not the case. It's not the case at all. So let me bring up a couple of things. He made an accusation. He's saying, like Judah's living off of someone. He has to produce receipts that Judah's living off of someone. Because I've never said that Judah was living off of me. Hanasar has never said that Judah was living off of him. Judah's wife has never called Maharakah and said that Judah's living off of her. However, the dynamics of his house is, that's their business. That's their business in that sense. But if he's saying that Judah's living off of someone, he has to produce receipts and evidence. Otherwise, that is a wrong accusation, because no one has called him and told him that Judah was just living off of anybody. He knows Judah has a job. And even if Judah doesn't have a job, let's just hypothetically say Judah doesn't have a job. Well, Rachel is a part of his household. So if Rachel and Judah are okay with the dynamics of how their house is ran, and Rachel has never called and I've been knowing them almost 10 years. She's never called me and complained about the dynamics of their household. She's never called anybody in her family. She's never called Maharakah. She's never called anybody and complained about the dynamics of how their household is ran. So if Maharakah is making accusations and saying that Judah is living off of people, he has to produce receipts. That's biblical. He has to produce receipts. Otherwise, he cannot say that. I'm going to read this scripture for y'all. Hold on. I'm going to read it in the Good News, and I'm going to read it in the King James. I'm going to read it in the King James first. This is Sirach chapter 21, verse 25 through 28. It says, the lips of talkers will be telling such things as pertain not unto them, but the words of such as have understanding are weighed in the balance. So it says the lips of talkers will be telling such things as pertain not unto them. So if no one has called Maharakah and said, yeah, man, Judah's living off of us, and Judah's taking money, and Judah's this, and Judah's doing all these things, you talking about stuff that don't even pertain to you. That has nothing to do with you. The way they marriage is, Judah's been married to Rachel for 26 years. He's been with her for 26 years. That has nothing to do with you. How they run their household and how they do things has nothing to do with you. Because nobody said that he's abusing her. Nobody said that he's hitting her. Nobody said that she's not eating. Nobody said that she don't have a roof over her head. Nobody's called you and said that she don't have her basic needs. No one has ever called and told you that. No one has ever said anything to you about how they run the dynamics of their home. So you're talking about stuff that does not pertain to you. I heard the brother looked up her to see if she's got an associate's degree and saying that Judah don't have no degree. What does that have to do with you? What does that have to do with sin? Okay, Judah don't have a degree. Rachel has an associate's degree. What does that have to do with you? And what does that have to do with sin? It says, the heart of fools is in their mouth, but the mouth of the wise in their heart. The ungodly curses Satan, he curses his own soul. A whisperer defileth his own soul, and is hated wheresoever he dwelleth. Now let me read it in the Good News. Presumptuous people talk about things that are none of their business, but the wise will consider the consequences of what they say. Fools say whatever comes to mind. Wise people think before they speak. When a wicked person curses his enemy, he is cursing himself. A gossip ruins his own character, and everyone in the neighborhood hates him. So you talking about what's going on in their marriage. For example, the brother's like, yeah, Rachel's family don't like Judah. What does that got to do with anything? He's been married to the sister for 26 years. When I first met my wife, and I've been saying the same thing that I've been teaching forever. What's up, Marshall? I've been teaching the same thing forever. In regards to, hey man, sisters, y'all got to get a husband. Sisters, y'all got to repent. Hey sisters, if y'all have children, then you need to go back to the father of your children. Hey sisters, a self-willed woman is counted as a bitch. Hey sisters, y'all need a covering. I've been teaching that stuff before I met my wife. My wife, I met her through the same things that I've always taught. When I first got with her mother and her grandmother and some of the people in her family, they didn't understand the things that I was saying. Throughout the course of time, guess what? Now her family loves me and they say, man, we be watching your classes. We love what you teaching and everything that you saying is the truth. But they didn't like what I said at first. But regardless of whether they like what I said at first, it was the truth. And I'm not married to them. I'm married to your daughter. Now, how I treat your daughter and how I deal with her, that's what should be looked at. So when anybody says, yeah, man, even your family don't like you. Well, I counsel a lot of people. And that's one of the main issues that go with any of our family members. Hey, man, they don't like me because I speak the truth now. That's whether you married or single. They don't like me, man, because I speak the truth. He's been with her for 26 years. That's what you should be focused on. We should be focused on whether his family likes them or not. I'm not focused on if my wife's family like me or not. I'm glad that they came around and they do now. But I wasn't looking at it and I wasn't that wasn't my main focus when I got with her. My main focus was making sure my wife is good, making sure I teach her how to be a wife, make sure she learns me, make sure that I take care of her, make sure I do right by her, never put my hands on her, never do any of those things. You know why? Because God gave me her and it's my job to protect her and nourish her and look over her and understand that she's the weaker vessel. He's been doing that for 26 years with Rachel. 26 years. So when a brother comes out and says, yeah, your family don't like you, a man that's been in the truth 30 years should not utter no things or shouldn't care about whether somebody's family likes them or not. Why don't you focus on the longevity of, damn, despite her family saying all these things, man, they still rocking it out after 26 years. That's what I would do. Obviously, he's doing something right. He's doing something right in order for him to still be with her after 26 years. He has 2 children. His daughter's still a virgin. He had to do something right. That's why I'm like, man, we got to stop listening to what these brothers are saying. So what he needs to do is, if the family got an issue with it, now he needs to produce receipts from Rachel that Judah's beating on her or holding her hostage against her will, that she's not eating, that she's not being taken care of, that she's not being loved, that she doesn't have a roof over her head. Like, you have to produce those things if there is a issue between Rachel and Judah. We got to have evidence of something. We have to have evidence of something. The brother brings out Judah getting another wife or not. That's his business. Whether it's between them two or not, that's Judah's business. I'm going to read this scripture again. Bear with me, y'all. This is Sirach chapter 21, verse 25 through 28 in the Good News. Presumptuous people talk about things that are none of their business, but the wise will consider the consequences of what they say. Then you have to produce something. Otherwise, brother, that's none of your business how they run their house. There's no sin involved. She hasn't called you and said that he's abusing her. She hasn't called you and said that he's not taking care of her. She hasn't called you and said that She don't like the dynamics of anything. You've never gotten a phone call from anybody to say any of these accusations that you saying. You got to produce something. You have to, brother. Otherwise, you speaking about stuff that has nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do with you, bro. And it has nothing to do with sin. Let's address sin. And I'm going to get to that point. I'm working myself up because I'm going to show y'all receipts of sin. I'm just going to stick to sin. However brothers want to live their life, you know what I'm saying? That's cool. But when sin is involved, that's when you're supposed to say something. The brother said, Hanasar. He's like, yeah, man, you know, Hanasar, we went to the Airbnbs and Hanasar was paying for the Airbnbs and the Airbnbs was in Hanasar's name. Hanasar didn't tell you that he was paying for the Airbnbs. You have to have proof, Maharakah, that Hanasar told you that he was paying for the Airbnbs. When we were transitioning from one location to another, I'm going to tell y'all, we was transitioning from one location to another. We ended up staying in 4 or 5 Airbnbs. The 4 or 5 Airbnbs, they would total anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 each Airbnb that we stayed with. I'm just gonna be open. $2,000 to $3,000 for each Airbnb. We stayed at 4 or 5. So you're telling me that Hanasar paid $10,000 to $15,000 by himself to house all of us in Airbnbs? Who told you that? Even if it's just one Airbnb that you're using an example of, who told you that? Who gave you the receipts and told you that that he was the one that was paying for these things and he was taking care of us? Who told you that? Where's the receipt of that? You have to have a receipt that says that Hanasar paid for everything. You have to produce, and the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because he brought it out, and I'm going to show y'all how asinine to even bring that up and to show y'all that he's gossiping and he ain't talking about anything. He's making accusations. He ain't talking about sin. If there was sin involved, hey, Milo, that's my point. I'm pointing this out for that reason, Milo, that none of those things have anything to do with him or sin. Whether what me, Judah, Hanasar, and DJ decide to do with our money because we're doing everything together, that's our business. I've never went to, matter of fact, when Maharakah tried to get involved in some of the decisions that we was making, I personally told Maharakah, I don't need your advice. I don't need your opinion. And the reason why I didn't need his advice and opinion, because his own stuff was messed up between his household. He was the one that was calling me to ask me to speak to his wife about something. He was the one that was calling me or Judah to speak about the stuff that was going on in his household and ask us to counsel his wives. I've never asked his brother not one time for any counsel. I've never asked him for counsel. I've never asked him for help. I've never asked him for his opinion. I've never asked him for anything. So when he be telling y'all all this stuff, Hanasar's never told him about who's spending what in the Airbnbs. I've never told him about who's taking care of what in the Airbnbs. Judah has never told him who's taking care of what in the Airbnbs. We've never told him who's paying for what on the land. We all got tiny homes. 2 of them about to be done this year. Hanasar's is about to be done, hopefully, Lord's will, at the end of the month. It's not because of him. It's because the construction people are, they got a couple of houses to go. So it's in a particular order. So hopefully his will be done in the next couple weeks. We all own 5 acres together. All of us own our own tiny homes together. All of us have a septic. We have well and we have electric. We did excavation. We dropped rocks. All of us has contributed to that. The Airbnbs, all of us has contributed to that. So now, Maharakah, you have to produce receipts to show that Hanasar is the one that's paying for all of the Airbnbs. You have to, because you said that he was doing these things. You said that. Or you made or you're making the assumption to lead everybody to believe that he did it by saying that the Airbnb is in his name. Only one person needs to be on the Airbnb. Now they'll ask you if you want to put everybody's name on there, or they'll ask you how many guests are in there. So they knew that it was not only Hanasar, but 6, 7, 8 other people in there. They already knew that. It was a big ass Airbnb. So we all moved in unison together. So you must prove that Hanasar paid for all the Airbnbs because you're making the accusations, and you have to have evidence and proof that that's exactly what happened. You have to. So now you got to prove that Rachel called you and told you these things about Judah not taking care of her. Now you have to produce also, did she ever tell you that there was an issue in 26 years between her and Judah, and he's holding her hostage, and she's been trying to get away from him for 26 years? You have to produce that. And then the brother said that Judah got ran out of Louisville. Judah's been to Louisville just this year alone. He's been back to Louisville 3 or 4 times. I don't know why. I don't know where y'all would get that he got ran out of Louisville. He's been there 3 or 4 times already this year. Before he moved back to Dallas, he lived in Louisville for a year. One of the last time he went to Louisville was a few months back. The brother called me on the phone, and I'm like, "What's going on, man? You having a good time?" He was like, "Yeah, man. Guess what, man?" He's like, 50 of my closest friends all showed up, showing me love, and they had a get together for me at a park. 50 chilling in the park, hanging out with all the people who know him and respect him in Louisville, because this brother said that Judah got ran out of Louisville. He just went back, and they did that. The next day, they threw him a pool party. They threw Judah a pool party the next day. He called me at that. He's like, "Man, I had a good time, this, that, and the third." He also called me, man, because the dude went back to the hood, and he was like, "Man, we had such a good time, man. It was 2, 3 in the morning. I didn't feel like going back home, so I stayed the night at the homie's house." These are homies that I went and saw. I know, hey, Norvinia, I don't know. I went to Louisville with Judah. Shit, I've been there 3 or 4 times with Judah myself. And we stayed on the front porch, man, where we was hearing gunshots and all kind of crazy shit. I'm like, "Damn, Judah, this how you live?" He's like, "Yeah, man, this is where I'm from. This is the neighborhood." He introduced me to all his homies and shit. And all his homies was like, "Hey, what's up, Mosh?" I looked at Judah. I'm like, "How they know my name?" He was like, "Shit, they watched the trap page." He was like, "They watched the classes. They watched the videos. They knew exactly who I was." I was blown away. I'm like, "Damn, man, that's what's up. These brothers know who I am. They know my name and everything." I'm like, "That's what's up." But like, I got videos in my phone showing me and him driving through Louisville. The message he posted, Maharaka posted a old message that's like 4 or 5 years ago that said something about Judah ain't gangster like y'all think he is. That message came from, again, Rachel's family member. It was her cousin. They didn't get along. They was fighting with each other. I was around when that brother finally called Judah. He ended up dying of cancer. And it's amazing what happens, man, when your life, when you know that you're at the end of your life and this is it for you. It's amazing how you switch up real quick. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying that for all of us, man, that you realize, hey, man, a lot of the shit that I've said, a lot of things that I've done in life, it wasn't worth all the chaos and the turmoil, and I've hurt people, and I've done, you know what I'm saying, I've done, you name it. I was there. The brother called Rachel and Judah and apologized. He was like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying, for everything I said, everything that I've done, you know what I mean, my sincere apology." Judah, as a matter of fact, was like, "Hey, Mosh, I want to go help the brother." I'm like, "What's going on?" They was like, "He got cancer." I think he's like stage 4 or something like that. He was like, "The brother got cancer." He's like, "I would love to get him on some, you know, fruits and teas." He was talking about hooking him up with brother Yaki, who does herbs and stuff like that. I was around when the brother called and apologized. Of course, man, people that don't, your family or people that don't like you gonna talk noise. That don't mean it's accurate. As a matter of fact, I remember when this message was put out, Judah went to Louisville, and you know how Judah is. B Hood told him, he was like, hey man, don't go back to Louisville. You know what I'm saying, man? Brothers is threatening your lives and this, that, and the third. Judah was like, man, I ain't worried about Rachel's family. Judah's walking down the street and he was like, hey, family, I'm here, y'all. I'm in Louisville. I'm walking down this street, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? If y'all gonna come, this is where my location is. You know me, I'm like, man, Judah's crazy as heck, man. This is when it's at the top of her family not liking Judah. He was walking through the neighborhood in Louisville live, talking about it. That same brother called Judah and apologized to him and said that he shouldn't have did that. He apologized to Judah and Rachel. So when these brothers be saying stuff, it's like, man, they don't know what they talking about. And again, does that have anything to do with sin? Judah can't go back home because when he was in the world, he was this type of man. Okay, cool. He did that in the world. Now that he's been in the truth, what does that have to do with anything? Is there sin involved? Did Judah sin in this walk that he cannot go back to Louisville, even though he's been dozens of times? Where is the sin? Where's the sin? That's what I'm saying. And the pulling up an old receipt, this is what I do. When people post stuff and say things about Maharakah, I have to get on the phone and have conversations, and I tell them, hey man, do you know him? How do you know him? They'll tell me how they know him, and then they'll say the things that he's done, and then the brother or sisters will be like, well, this is why I stopped messing with him. I'm like, okay, can you prove the stuff that you saying? Because we know you can't say nothing unless you got proof. Those who just be like, nah, man, you know what I'm saying? This is just how he was. And they either tell me that they have proof, but they don't want to get involved. Or I know what they're saying is correct because I've had my own interactions with them. But I tell them, hey, y'all should have said something a long time ago. Y'all should have spoke up on this long time ago that it should have never came to myself, Judah, Hanasar, or any of these other people. It should never came to our table because y'all should have been addressed this. But because y'all didn't, now, man, y'all have ruined so many people's lives along the way because y'all refuse to speak up and refuse to say anything. So this is where we are right now. So with that being said, some people showed me and gave me evidence of him doing these things. And all these things line up with, like I said, the things that I've had experience with this brother. I've known of him body slamming his wife. I've known of him myself. When I say I known of him, it'd be myself, Judah, and Hanasar, of him slamming his wife against refrigerator doors and her hitting him with brass knuckles. I've known of him because he body slammed his wife at my Airbnb. I've heard him go in on his wives. I'm talking about yelling, screaming, cussing them out, threatening them. I've heard that myself. I've heard him call them bitches and all that. I've heard him say that. I've heard him go in. But he ain't never heard me say that about my wife. He's never heard me call her other than what her name is. He's never seen me body slam my wife. No one can accuse me of body slamming my wife, slapping my wife. No one can accuse Hanasar body slamming his wife, slapping his wife. No one can accuse Judah of body slamming his wife, slapping his wife. But I can say that Maharakah has done that, and I can say that Maharakah has done that with all of his wives. I can say that with confidence that he's done that to his wives. I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna show y'all this. Let me go here. Just let me show y'all, because y'all like, damn, man, you keep talking about the shit. I'm going to show y'all. So I told the sisters that I wouldn't say their names. And there'd be no need of me to say their names because I'm going to show y'all a text message from Maharakah himself stating that he put his hands on, this woman. So it lines up again with what I've witnessed and what his wives have called me and Judah and have said themselves. That's what I'm saying. Like the accusations that's put forth against this brother, there has to be witnesses and evidence, whether it be Maharakah or whether it be with Judah. The stuff that Maharakah that I just named above, there's no evidence of any of these things. There's no witnesses of any of these things. So now it just comes out as slander. You're slandering somebody. You're trying to damage the name and reputation when no one has ever called you and told you anything. So here's a message. I'm gonna show y'all this. Here's a message from a sister. I don't know if y'all can see it well, but I'm gonna read it. It says, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I was Mahar wife that wasn't in the truth. And nobody believed me when I said all this stuff. Because she's been watching what's been going back and forth, so she reached out to me. She said, he pulled out a gun on me. We was having threesomes in his home. Everybody that was my friend, he wanted them to suck him up. So with the threesomes, his wife Tasha called me, and she called Judah, and I was there. His wife Tasha, the one that's there now, who did the Day of Atonement video. The reason why she was mad at Judah is because he went back and reported all this stuff. Not that he was lying, but he went back and reported these things. She could try to deny it now, but here it is. 2 women have now said this. 2 women have said that this brother has forced them to do threesomes. I'm not going to go into detail about who this sister is and the background and the lifestyle, but from my gathering from this brother, from me talking to certain sisters that he has had dealings with, he likes to prey on certain type of women that had a certain type of lifestyle previously. So he takes these women and he preys on them and he brings them into the walk, and then he makes them do the exact same thing that we supposed to be getting away from in the world. So let me read this again. The sister said, he pulled out a gun on me. We was having threesomes in his home, which again, this is second wife that has said that. This sister and then Tasha said the same thing. Tasha was saying, yeah, man, he would make, you know what I'm saying, he go take a shower and then he make us go in the bathroom and make us, one would be doing this and one would be doing that. I'm like, damn, man, this dude, we ain't supposed to be doing that. But here's another sister that said, yeah, he used to make me do the same thing. He used to make me do that. It says, everybody that was my friend, he wanted them to suck him up. So let me stop right there. Let me read this. Let's see what God says about threesomes real quick before I continue, y'all. Let's see what if there's anything against that. Bear with me. What scripture was that? There it is. This is Galatians chapter 5, and this is in the good news. Let's see if there's anything wrong with having threesomes, orgies. This is Galatians chapter 5, verse 19. What human nature does is quite plain. It shows itself in immoral, filthy, and indecent actions, in worship of idols and witchcraft. People become enemies and they fight. They become jealous, angry, and ambitious. They separate into parties and groups. They are envious, get drunk, have orgies, and do other things like these. I warn you now, as I have before, those who do these things will not possess the kingdom of God. All right, let's see if it says that anywhere else. Let's go to Revelations, and this is all in the good news. So God tells you, man, if you in any type of action like that, hey, man, you ain't going to get the kingdom. You're not going to make it, man. You sitting here having orgies in the truth. What's wrong with you? Revelations chapter 22. I'm going to start at verse 14. Happy are those who wash their robes clean, as so have the right to eat the fruit from the tree of life and to go through the gates into the city. But outside the city are the perverts and those who practice magic, the immoral and the murderers, those who worship idols, and those who are liars both in words and deeds. So it said, but outside the city are the perverts. Those who practice perversion, it says you ain't gonna make it to the kingdom. Threesomes are a form of perversion. And as I continue to show you, brothers, it ain't just this sister. It ain't just the wives that he lived with now, but there's people in his past where he's full of perversion. And again, I'm gonna read it to where he admits some of the things that he does. His own text messages. It says he pulled out a gun on me. We was having threesomes in his home. Everybody that was my friend, he wanted them to suck him up. He was trying to sleep with his cousin. I spoke to Judah before too. She's talking about Miss Judah. I spoke to Judah before too. When she first got pregnant, she said he tried to do it. They weren't even in a relationship. And she was talking about an abortion. I've had conversations with Miss Judah to the point where Miss Judah was like, hey man, she felt like that this man deceived her or tricked her. And that's the only reason why I can mention some of these things from this sister is because I too have had conversations with Miss Judah to the point where she tried to get away from this brother and she wanted nothing to do with this brother, to the point where she was like, I'll confess to Israel that I'll chalk that up to fornication. Maharakah put me and Judah on the phone to talk to her. I remember she was going back and forth and she was calling Maharakah all kind of names. And then that's when he got on the phone and he went in on her. All the shit that we be telling y'all, man, I've been a witness to how abusive this brother is. He went in on her. She says, he has body slammed me. So what if I would have killed him? So here it is. Another girl saying, nah, he body slammed me. He did the same thing to me. And one would say, hey man, you just reading what a sister said. You don't have proof. Be patient. Just be patient with me. I'm bringing it up because I too, before this sister came out, obviously, she saw the class and she's like, damn, y'all are reporting the same shit that happened to me and that I've seen and that I've experienced. Because yeah, it happened in my Airbnb when he slammed Nawad. He body slammed her. It says he has body slammed me. So this is in the truth. This is a history of violence in the truth. The only thing that I address is sin. It is sin to be a brawler. It is a sin to put your hands on somebody, to be a striker. And I'm gonna read that scripture in a second. It's a sin to be violent. You can't be a drunkard, a violent drunkard in the truth as a teacher and as a leader. And I'm gonna bring all that out because remember, we can't make accusations without proof. We can't make accusations without proof. So I have said that this brother be drinking and become a drunkard and he has body slam. I have witnessed it myself in my Airbnb. Judah has seen it. Now here's another sister that's saying the same thing. And I'm gonna let Maharakah tell you the same thing. He's gonna tell you this. He's gonna tell you. He has body slammed me. So what if I would have killed him? I have messages and witnesses. Nobody wanted to believe me. And I agree with that. She does have messages because she sent me some of them. And there are witnesses. And I've had sisters say that they don't want to be a witness to it. They just want it to be done with. And I'm cool with that, which is why I'm not going to address them or bringing those things out. I'm just going to show you what I have, which is enough in itself. Now, I don't need to bring anybody else out, but just know he has a history of violence. He'll make posts on his Facebook page about, he'll have pictures of, old sisters that he used to deal with, in his past, and old pictures of, children that he has. But he's not going to tell you why he's not with them anymore. The reason why he's not with any of them no more is domestic violence. It's domestic violence. That's why he's not with these sisters anymore. Because he's an abusive drunkard. He be beating the shit out of his wives. Like, That's why he ain't with him no more. He's got 7, 8 baby mamas. They're not with him anymore because he beat on them. That's sin. That's the only thing I'm addressing is sin. Sin. It says he counseled Noah into leaving her 3rd baby daddy and became his 4th. And y'all hear me talk about that all the time. It's not a lie. He told me the same thing about counseling. Now he's trying to spin it or whatever, but he told me the same thing, and I told him I didn't agree with that. Even after all that, hypothetically, let's say, just looking at the thing, at the situation at face value. As a teacher and a leader, how do you get with anybody who has so many things going on in their life that would take you away from serving the Lord? For example, you get with a sister who murdered her husband, and she was pregnant with her husband, the man that she murdered, pregnant with his child, and then you ended up putting a baby in her to become the 3rd baby daddy. A man of the Lord does that? You counsel a sister. She's with a man. They're having issues in their relationship. That man is the 3rd baby daddy. You counsel her to leave this man, and then you become the 4th baby daddy. As a teacher and a leader, that makes absolutely no sense. But yet and still, you try to clown a brother about him being married with a woman for 26 years, and they've been in relationships go like this. They all do. But they still together after 26 years. So the man who's the 4th baby daddy and the 3rd baby daddy clowns a brother who's been with the same woman for 26 years. Somebody help me make sense of that. Somebody. And the only thing that you have to say is, well, they families don't like Judah. But they've been together 26 years, bro. You have 7 or 8 baby mamas, and you ain't with half of them. And this is all in the truth. And we're supposed to listen to you. You're the spokesman of good women. You're the spokesman for right decisions. That was another thing real quick. The brother says, yeah, man, my heart, Hanasar, man, you know what I'm saying? He fell in a trap and he's with these brothers, and he shouldn't be with these brothers, man, because these brothers be talking about women. Bro, like I said, I've been talking the same way before I met my wife. And my wife still called me, and we're married now. My wife was a virgin. She ain't never been with a man before a day in her life. I'm the only man she's ever known, only man she's ever been with. So the way I've talked have ran off all the hoes, and then I end up with a woman who's never been with somebody before. And then as I continue to teach these things, I met Hanasar. And I said, hey, Hanasar, stand on your circle, man. Don't accept anything less than what you should deserve as a man of the Lord and as a stand-up brother. We've all sinned in the world and made mistakes. You ended up with your rib just like I did. And now that we know better, we got to do better. Now, guess what? Hanasar married a virgin. She has never been with somebody but him. Now she's pregnant, and they're expecting their first child together, and it's a son. Somebody help me understand. Man, they be talking about women and they hate women. So I ended up with a virgin. Hanasar ended up with a virgin. Judah's been with his wife for 26 years, but the brother who was with a woman who murdered her husband and with a woman, and he's the 4th baby daddy, and with the murder girl, he's the 3rd baby daddy. He's the one who's trying to clown. He's the one that has something to say about, man, you shouldn't end up with them. Meanwhile, they're about to move into their own home in their own land that they own at the end of the month, where it's all paid off and nothing is going to be owned or owed on the land. Everything's going to be paid off within the next year and a half. Everything. Everything. And you're telling me that he's the spokesman on how to get a wife. The way I speak should deter the bad women to get away from me. I'm not speaking about the good ones. My wife understood that. My wife's family understood that. They understood that. They're like, yeah, Masha, I know you wasn't talking about, you know what I'm saying, certain women and the good women. And yeah, my daughter, she's a good one. Yeah, I got a good one. Y'all had a good daughter, man, and I appreciate that, man. Y'all raised her well, and y'all taught her not to give herself away and not to make these silly mistakes, and y'all kept her in straight. Thank you for doing that. But the brother who has 7, 8 baby mothers, half of them are gone because of domestic violence, because he beats on them. He's the spokesman on how to get a wife. He's the spokesman on how to get a wife. I told Judah, I said, the scripture says every creature consorted to his like. I said, Judah, Hanasar is like us. I don't know what Maharakah is talking about, but Hanasar, he's exactly like us. You been with your wife 26 years. I'm with a sister who ain't never been with nobody, and she's all about me, just like Rachel's all about you. And now Hanasar is with a woman who's never been with nobody, and she's all about you, all about him. He is like us. We all own land together, and we building together. He is like us. Like, what is he talking about? He is like us. You don't hang around people that's not like you. That don't mean that even the people that you don't hang around that ain't like you, that just means that, hey, man, we may not agree and see eye to eye on certain things, but I wish you the best. That's what happened to us. He always bring out the stuff that happened in the Ozarks. That's what happened to us. We all just didn't agree and don't see eye to eye. We all men. So guess what? The brothers on the land where we came from, they all agree and see eye to eye, and they build together. Just like me, Judah, and Hanasar and DJ see eye to eye, and we build together. But guess what? We all still cool. We all still talk with each other. We were just over there. We all still get along, and there ain't no issues. We just don't agree on how things get done. And that's fine. You don't, sometimes you don't figure that out until you're around each other. But there's no sin involved. You just don't agree. But every creature consorted to his like. That's biblical. So Hanasar wouldn't be around us if he wasn't like us. So when brothers be saying that, it's like, man, stop saying that goofy shit. He's just like us. Otherwise, if he was like you, then he would be with you. And he would be the third baby daddy of one of these women, or the fourth baby daddy if he was like you. He would be with you. He would be around you. And that would be his life. And that would be his name. And that's what would be his reputation, as Hanasar got with a sister with 3 or 4 baby daddies, and he kick it with Maharakah them. They all the same. You see how that goes? It says, I have messages and witnesses. Nobody wanted to believe me. He counseled Noah into leaving her third baby daddy and became his fourth, which he did. I told him that I don't agree how he took her, and he shouldn't have did that. Matter of fact, I did a video where he accused the brother, John Anthony Johnson, of trying to make an annulment against Miss Judah. But if you go on his page, he gave Noah an annulment to annul her marriage. If she wasn't married to the third baby daddy, then what would be the point of giving an annulment? Annulments have to do with marriage. So you clown a brother who's no longer here for having an annulment, but you produce an annulment. So again, the Bible says don't make no accusations. Go to his page. I have it on my thing too. Go to his page and you'll see an annulment. He has a video out where he talked about John Anthony Johnson having trying to annul with Miss Judah. So the hypocrisy would be that you produced an annulment just like he was talking about having an annulment. But you produce an annulment for a woman to leave her husband. And I say it's her husband because they laid down together, had a child together, they lived together, and I'm sure they made plans and a life together. And you came in and wrote an annulment to interfere with that, and then you took her and you married her and you put a baby in her, and you're the fourth man to do that. Somebody has to sit back and be like, man, what is these sisters doing, man? How does a sister go from one baby daddy? All right, I get it, one baby daddy. But 2 baby daddies. All right, man, something is up. You know what I'm saying? Because there's some kind of adultery or fornication or something going on. Because now, okay, I get it. One man, you make that mistake. Two men, I got to look at that. But now we at number 4. There's a lot of stuff that's going on to get from number 1 to number 4 that as a teacher and a leader, you should look back and be like, man, I don't want no part of that. I don't want anything to do with that, because there's some distrust and dishonesty and there's something going on, but children are being produced in the equation. So something has to be going on. Some kind of covenant is being made throughout all this. It has to be. It can't, after the 4th man, it can't be all the men's fault. It can't be. All I'm saying is use common sense, man. That's what we as teachers and leaders are supposed to be doing. That ain't supposed to be named amongst us. It says, this is not the same person that's on the profile. She's talking about what she sent me. I was watching the live and sad for the second girl. She trusted him and she was my friend. Shake his head. And that seemed to be the common theme, man, with this brother, man, is these women be coming in and they be trusting him to do the right thing because they all boast on being teachers. And I've been doing this for 30 years. So when women see that, it's like, finally, I'm with a good man, whether he's a teacher or you're looking to be the wife to this man. And then you find out that he's not who he says he is, but you don't have time to prove that because immediately they lay with you so you can take them. So by the time you find out, now the men will tell you, nah, you trapped. You can't go nowhere. Since I laid with you, you got to stay with me. Hold on, it says, he say somebody else wrote it, but it's still hypocritical to clown John Anthony Johnson about an annulment when Mahar produced one for his wife. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. These brothers, man, like I was saying, they'll take these women, and then these women don't know anything. And I'm going to read that scripture too. The women don't know anything. And then you would take them, man, and because we all know, hey, man, this girl is easy. Hey, I can manipulate this girl. We all know what be going on when we meet these sisters. But now, are you going to counsel for yourself, or are you going to counsel and do the right thing and be like, hey, man, as pretty as she is, right now, man, she don't need to be with no man. She just needs help. She needs guidance, man. Let me lead her to the Lord, and let me protect her in that sense. Or do you bone him and say, man, you got to stay with me. Hey, man, drink this. Hey, man, party this. Hey, man, drop a track like this. Or do you do something like that to the things that they don't need those type of things? And that's what these brothers be doing. They be taking advantage of these sisters. All right, let me go to the next one. And I got some scriptures. I'll bring them out in a little bit. So now, someone like Maharaka be like, man, that message is a lie. It's a lie, man. You know what I'm saying? He said you got to have proof. You got to have evidence. All right, this is Maharaka's message to this sister. I can't say her name, but this is him. You say Patterson at the top. That's his last name. And this is a message from Maharaka to this same sister who I read when she was like, yeah, he was doing all that stuff to me. And remember, she also said something about him messing with his cousin. I'm gonna read that too in regards to what he did to his cousin, because he's a pervert. So this is Maharaka. She only sent me she was like, man, this thing was long as hell. I'm just gonna send you, his last response. So this is Maharaka, y'all. He said, I do appreciate you for the good you do and have done for me. I'm a man in the flesh that love hard and trust people, maybe to a default. I asked you to help me last night and then attacked you. I'm going to read that again. This is Maharaka. He said, I asked you to help me last night and then attacked you. That was not cool. I had some help with the liquor, of course, and I just vented and was depressive state. So here we go again. Maharaka asked somebody to do something. He's full of alcohol. He didn't like whatever response the sister gave him, and he attacked the sister. The same thing I seen him do in my Airbnb. the same thing that his wife Tasha called and say that he be doing. This is Maharaka saying this stuff. This ain't anybody else. This is him saying that, hey man, I was drunk off the alcohol and I attacked you, sis. I attacked you. I shouldn't have did that. This is him saying this stuff. It's not my words, this is his. He said that was not cool. I had some help with the liquor, of course, and I just vented and was depressive state. Running is never the answer because wherever you go, the truth is still you and the bags you are carrying. Y'all got to pay attention to that. He said running is never the answer because wherever you go, the truth is still you and the bags you are carrying. So the truth is you beat this woman, body slammed her. You did the same thing to Nawar because I seen it. And when Judah went to your house, there's fucking holes all in the wall of you and her tussling, of her having to put brass knuckles on, busting you upside your head. There's also proof that you made the phone call to myself or to Judah, excuse me, and I was there, and it was on speakerphone, and you was like, man, Judah, hey man, this shit is crazy, Judah. Miss Judah pulled a knife out on the wall, man, and they about to go in on it. And I looked at Judah, I said, man, this is crazy, bro. I'm like, you told him not to even bring Miss Judah to there because this was going to happen. So now that she's in the house, Miss Judah pulls a knife out on the wall and they about to scrap. I'm like, this is bananas. Like, I'm telling y'all, man, I've known, like, these are proof of how this brother is. I don't know how much more or much more proof that y'all need to show that this is part of his life. The women that are in his life that have left him because domestic violence, because he puts his hand on her. The sister that I spoke to, she's like, yeah, I got a restraining order against him. She's like, I had to get a restraining order. She's like, matter of fact, I even left the state because I had to get the fuck away from him. She's not the only one. He's got a few women, man, that's left the cities and the states to get away from him and had to get restraining orders against him because he's abusive. He just told you himself that he put his hands on this sister. He's told you that himself. I'm not talking about trouble in the flesh. I'm talking about sin. And the Bible tells me don't make any accusations against an elder without proof, without evidence. I'm reading to you the proof and the evidence from not only what I seen, not only from what a sister seen, and now out of his own mouth, him saying the same thing. Let me read this again. It says, I do appreciate you for the good you do and have done for me. I'm a man in the flesh that love hard and trust people, maybe to a default. I asked you to help me last night and then attacked you. That was not cool. I had some help with the liquor, of course, and I just vented and was depressive state. Running is never the answer because wherever you go, the truth is still you and the bags you are carrying. So I want you to know that from my heart, I truly loved us and was content with us and probably did not see the whole forest because maybe I did not want to. So I say forgive me for last night and whatever night, and I will learn to live in the moment and make the best out of the worst situation and vent in silence. That's from Maharaka. That's the message that he responded to the sister. So he has a history of abuse. He has a history of abuse. So now, I read the scriptures about threesomes and being a pervert. Because remember, Tasha and this sister was like, yeah, he be making us do threesomes and stuff like that. Not only that, here's another one. I marked out the faces and the names on this to protect some other parties involved. But here's a picture. And I'll read it to you in a second. But here's a picture of someone. And you see a lady in lingerie in a picture. So the backstory of this is a sister went on Maharaka's computer and found that his cousin was sending him naked pictures of her. His cousin was sending naked pictures. So the sister messaged the cousin and said, "Would y'all granny approve of this message?" And that said the blue at the top. So the girl seen it and was like, "Hey man, would your grandma approve of you sending Maharaka naked pictures? Would she approve of this?" And the girl screenshotted this and she sent it to her sister. So her and her sister were having a dialogue at the bottom. So the girl said, "It's his cousin. I beat myself up for 2 days." Because when she saw this in the computer, she was like, "What the fuck is going on, man? Were they sending each other?" You know what I'm saying? She's sending him naked pictures. And she said, "I beat myself up for 2 days when she saw this picture." And her sister responded and said, "I am fucking through. Like, this is unbelievable. I'm fucking through." And she said, "I cried so much, bruh." So when she found that his cousin was sending him naked pictures, she was like, "Damn, man, I've been mind been blown for 2 days, man, and I've been crying for 2 days about this because this is bananas." So the girl, remember at the top, she messaged her, "Would y'all granny approve of this message?" The cousin responded. I took all the, like I told y'all, I scratched off the names and the faces and the phone numbers and stuff like that because, you know, I have it. So, and he knows it's true too. So here's the cousin who was sending him nude pictures. This is her response. She actually responded to the girl. So I'm going to show y'all. So she said, "First off, that's my cousin. My family, you can feel whatever way you feel about what. Yes, I been had a crush on him. It's harmless, and we never did anything together. He didn't watch me grow up. He lived down south. I live in New York." So that was her response. She was like, "So what, nigga? I had a crush on him. We had a crush on each other. Ain't no big deal that I'm sending him, you know what I'm saying, pictures of me in lingerie and naked pictures or whatever. Ain't no big deal. So what?" This is his cousin that's saying this. So when I be telling y'all, man, ain't nobody got a lie on this brother. Nobody has a lie on this brother. This is what he be doing. This is your elder. This should not be named amongst you in Israel if you a teacher and a leader. It shouldn't be that way. There's no pictures of me getting naked pictures from my cousins or any woman for that matter. It shouldn't be. There is no email of me apologizing to a sister because I body slammed her and I whooped her ass and I got drunk and I did harm to her. There is no evidence of me doing any of those things, or of Judah, or of Hanassar, or of DJ, or of anything. So I'm gonna read this again. So when this brother be trying to clown Judah about what's going on with Rachel and they've been together 26 years, when he's trying to clown and say, "Man, you can't go back home because when you was in the world, these things happened." When you talk about, "Hey man, he ain't got a job and this, that, and the third," where's the sin? I'm only talking about sin. Where is the sin? Let's read Sirach 21, 25 through 28 again. All the stuff that he's saying, it says, Sirach 21, 25 through 28. "Presumptuous people talk about things that are none of their business, but the wise will consider the consequences of what they say. Fools say whatever comes to mind. Wise people think before they speak. When a wicked person curses his enemy, he is cursing himself. A gossip ruins his own character, and everyone in the neighborhood hates him." Gossip means you're telling lies on somebody. Gossip means you're saying things that are not true. Pointing out sin is not a gossip. When people say, "Hey man, you beat me and you put your hands on me." Yeah, you did, sis. You said y'all be doing stuff in the bathroom. I was on the phone when you told Judah that. So, and here we go again with a sister. He can't control his wives. This dude cannot control his wives. Let me see. Ban his sister. Let me delete her. Nobody has no reason to nobody has a reason to lie on that sister. I was there. She told us specifically, and I can get Judah on here, but I don't even need Judah's help. So again, she said it as well as another sister said it. And on top of that, you have messages from this brother that I just read that came from him that he said that he be doing certain things to people. So, see, it's just something that you're going to have to live with. That ain't my business. You the same sister that put out information that said that you was lying and that he was lying. So you're not the spokesman for anything. But anyway, I'm going to read this. 1 Timothy chapter 3. And notice this real quick. She goes, I didn't tell you that she had a threesome. But meanwhile, I just showed y'all evidence of this brother and his cousin sending each other new videos. She ain't going to address none of those things that she actually knows about. She's not going to address any of those things. Let me see. But she's not going to address any of those things. But my word, that's what the sister said. His wife, Tasha, my word, said that he makes them go in the shower and he'll wash his butt and he'll be making them lick his butt and they be doing stuff in the bathroom. That's what he be making her do. She said that. I ain't got no reason to make that up. That came out whether now it turns into whether that's true or not in regards to her being involved or her saying that. I'm telling you that's what she was saying. And then you line it up with another sister who's saying, you know what? He used to make me do the same thing. He used to make me do the exact same thing. But anyway, where was I? 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 7. Let me read this. Verse 1. Give me 1 second, y'all. That's Galatians, 2 Timothy, 1 Timothy 5. Here we go. I'm going to read this. This is 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 1 through 7. It says, this is a true saying. If a man is eager to be a church leader, he desires an excellent work. A church leader must be without fault. He must only have one wife, be sober, self-controlled, and orderly. Now, it's, there's back and forth in regards to if, you're supposed to have more than one wife. So for me, I'm not going to address that part. I just want to address the characteristics of said man who calls himself a leader. Said man who calls himself a leader. A church leader must be without fault, meaning no one should be able to look into your life and say, hey, man, the stuff that you saying and the stuff that you doing, hey, man, that should not be named among you. You're supposed to be guiltless. You're supposed to be blameless when it comes to this. I shouldn't be able to read a text message from you yourself, that's saying that, hey, man, I'm sorry, I did attack you. And I was drinking, man, when I was putting my hands on you. We shouldn't be able to read that amongst an elder. It says he must only have one wife, be sober, self-controlled, and orderly. He must welcome strangers in his home. He must be able to teach. He must not be a drunkard or a violent man. So he can't be a drunkard or a violent man. I'm going to show y'all some messages that he sent out on his page where he's wishing or making death threats to myself and the brothers. And I'm going to show it to you. So a godly man that's been doing this for 30 years, he shouldn't be a violent man. He shouldn't be making threats to kill someone. But he's done that to me twice already. Twice. But gentle and peaceful. He must not love money. he must be able to manage his own family well and make his children obey him with all respect. So it says he must be able to manage his own family well. So why is his wife coming on here talking crazy? Regardless of what's going on back and forth between me, Maharaka, or any brother, you will never, ever, ever see or hear of my wife doing anything. She'll never be on social media talking shit to another man. She'll never be on social media being disrespectful to another man. She'll never, ever, ever. Because guess what? That's not supposed to be happening. It says he must be able to manage his own family. So you can't manage your family? You can't tell your wife, hey man, be quiet. Hey, go sit down. Hey, go in the kitchen. Hey, go to work. But instead, you got your wife on the page talking shit to men. It says he must be able to manage his own family well and make his children obey him with all respect. For if a man does not know how to manage his own family, how can he take care of the church of God? So if you can't manage your own family, if you can't make your wives submit to you, if you can't make your wives obey you, then how can you manage other people? If you have to beat your wives into submission, hey man, I don't think teaching is where you should be doing what you should be doing right now. Hey man, I don't think you should be telling anybody anything right now, because too much stuff is spilling out of your house where now brothers have witnessed to you body slamming your wife, and then other women are coming out saying, yeah, you've abused them. And then not only have they came out and said you abused them, you've even had to message and apologize for the abuse that you've done to these women. And that's who y'all listening to? And then the arrogancy of the brother be like, so what, man? They leave. They be leaving. Yeah, the reason why they left you, bro, is because you keep putting your hands on them. That's why they left. It says he must be mature in the faith so that he will not swell up with pride and be condemned as the devil was. He should be a man who is respected by the people outside the church. So you got to be respected. And people look at that and be like, I am respected outside the church. No, that it's not talking about you hiding things and people don't really know how you are and don't know how your life is. Because if somebody sits down and they see all the things that you said and done, they'd be like, I didn't know he was like that. So people be like, I am respected because I'm a teacher and you know what I'm saying? And I'm over students and I got a degree. Okay, they said that about the serial killer that had 20 kids or 20 people under the basement. They thought he was a nice guy too until they found out how he really was. So that's what that's talking about. Can you play your page and just still be proud of the stuff that you saying and the things that you doing? He should be a man who is respected by the people outside the church so that he will not be disgraced and fall into the devil's trap. So you got to have a good name and a good reputation with not only these people, but people who don't know you, people that cross paths with you. It says, let me go to this. Proverbs. I'm going to read this. Now I'm just going to run through some of these scriptures. And then I'm going to show y'all some other information. Messenger. Proverbs. Here we go. So remember, the brother admitted that he be putting his hands. Let me show this again. Let me show this again. This is from him, where he said, I do appreciate you for the good you do and I have done for me. I'm a man in the flesh that love hard and trust people, maybe to a default. I asked you to help me last night and then attacked you. That was not cool. I had some help with the liquor, of course, and I just vented and was depressive state. So this brother said he attacked her and he had alcohol in him. Proverbs chapter 20, verse 1. I'm going to read a couple of different versions. Wine is a mocker and beer a brawler. Whoever is led astray by them is not wise. Wine produces mockers. Alcohol leads to brawls. Those led astray by drink cannot be wise. Wine is a mocker. Strong drink a brawler. And whoever is led astray by it is not wise. Wine is a mocker. Strong drink is raging. And whosoever is deceived thereby is not wise. So if you drink to the point where you become violent, if you drink to the point where you put hands on your wives and women, you shouldn't be drinking. You shouldn't be drinking. That's biblical. You should not be drinking, man. That you to the point where you putting your hands on somebody. If you brothers go back to the videos where he's responding to us talking about, damn man, you body slammed your wife in the crib. He even said out his own mouth, he's like, yeah, I spoke to my wife the next day and she don't even remember. How do you get to the point where you don't even remember the stuff that y'all's doing? That y'all are fighting with each other? That y'all are body slamming each other? That y'all are putting hands on each other? How do you get to the point where you don't remember that? That should not be named among you if you are a teacher or a leader or an elder. That should not be happening amongst any of us. I'm gonna go ahead and end this here in a second. I'm gonna show y'all this. So I say all that to say this. You are supposed to produce your cause and produce the evidence that shows the things that if you making an accusation against an elder. I myself, Judah, and Hanasar, and even his wives calling and telling us the things that's going on, and the women that he's previously dealt with have all called and produced evidence and said the things that's going on. I've tried to speak to him. Judah has tried to speak to him. Matter of fact, what I'm about to show you, a brother called me and said that he's going to speak to him as well because of the things that he's aware of that this brother's doing. And I told the brother, I'm like, I ain't going to say your name because I'll let you speak to him or whatnot. But there's people that are aware and know the stuff that he's doing. I get angry because I'm like, y'all not helping this brother because y'all not saying anything. Y'all supposed to be saying something. It should never got to the point where me and Judah got to say something, man, and then now this brother's threatening our lives or whatnot. And I'm going to show y'all this. This is on his page. It's on Maharaka's page. I say this is probably maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, something like that. And I said everything to say this. If I said anything against him, here's the evidence that I have, and here's the proof, and also by his own admission, the things that he's done. So here's the evidence. Produce your evidence from Rachel. Produce your evidence from Hanasar. Produce your evidence from me. Now, with that being said, here's some stuff that you said. He said, I think it's time to visit the Ozarks again this weekend. People gonna find out the Bible won't save them. I'm Woody on the lackey. What does that mean exactly? Why come to the Ozarks to do what exactly? We ain't friends like that. We ain't cool like that. So you gonna come to the Ozarks and do what exactly? And do what exactly? Oh, okay. I get it. So here's the second one. Again, this is all from him. This is not anything that's made up. Let me pull this up real quick because I'm gonna play a video from this dude too. Let me take this off. Hold on, give me 1 second, y'all. Okay, cool. Now we're connected. So here's the second one. It says, I'm going to show y'all this. This is from the brother. So the first, he made a threat with us about a month ago. So here's the second one. Here's the second one. It says, Judah Mack, flag my channel, snitch. And I'm dropping your location and phone number to your ops, nigga. I'm going to read it again. Judah Mack, flag my channel, snitch. and I'm dropping your location and phone number to your ops, nigga. So the first time he talk about he's gonna come visit the Ozarks, and he's talking about Woody with the lackey, and the Bible ain't gonna save us. And then here's the second time where he's talking about he's gonna drop our address and phone number and location to the ops. Now, anybody with common sense would know if you drop a location to your ops, what are your ops gonna come down here and do? And why would a man that's been in this truth 30 years threaten to drop a name, phone number, and location to your ops? Why would you do that? That's murder. That's murder. I had a brother that called me and was like, "Hey, Mosh, I'm called." He called me at 2:40 in the morning. He was like, "Hey, man, I need to talk to you." I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Yeah, man, I was having a conversation with Maharakah, man, and he's talking about sending y'all's information, sending Judah's information to people that's after Judah." And I'm like, "Why would he do that, man?" I said, "That's murder, bro." He said, "Yeah, I know it is." I said, "So why would he do that? He's 30 years in. Why would he send? Why would he even post something like that? Why would he even say something like that?" This is supposed to be a teacher and a leader in Israel. But it all makes sense now because I'm going to play it. It all makes sense, man. That's why I'm like, y'all need to pay attention, because I'm telling y'all, I don't want no smoke with this brother. I don't want to hurt him. I don't want hurt his family. Man, I wish them the best. This is going to be the last time that I address any of this. And whatever he says after this, it is what it is. All I want him to do is prove what he's saying. Produce your receipts. Because you said a whole lot, so produce your receipts. So for me, once it get to the point where you threatening to murder me, all right, man, I'm a bow out. You got it. You got it, man. I don't want to get killed. I don't want you to come down here, and I don't want you to shoot me. I don't want you to do none of that stuff, man. Hold on, y'all. Let me set it up. Yeah, I don't want you to come down here, man. I don't want you to shoot me, man. I don't want to die. Hold on, shit. Okay, cool. I don't want nobody to get hurt, man. I ain't wishing death on nobody. But once it gets to the point, man, where you wishing death, man, and you talking about sending ops down here, once you talking about, man, I'm going to come down to the Ozarks and the Bible ain't going to save you, and Woody with the lackey, once you start saying stuff like that, man, all right, man, I'm going to bow out. I'm going to say my piece. You know what I'm saying? And what you say after this, I'm going to leave that up to you and the Lord, because I don't take threats with a grain of salt. I'm not going to do nothing to you, brother. I'm not going to come after you or your family. I don't want no harm to you, man. You got kids and wives or whatnot. Despite us going back and forth, that's what men do. And hopefully one day, man, this stuff will calm down or whatever. But this will be, like I said, this is going to be the last time I speak on it, because once you wish death on me, and once you talking about sending people down here to kill me, and you a man that's been doing this 30 years and supposed to believe, all right, man, cool. You got it, bro, Ham. You got it. You got it, believer. Let me play this to show y'all. Because remember, he said, "Hey, man, this is what he gonna listen to it." He's like, "This is what I used to do in the world." Nah, man, all this stuff that you doing, from abusing women to making threats, death threats, you ain't in the world. You supposed to be a believer.
This video, I just seen this out of Ben said something about it. It's just like that's a weak ass character, my nigga. You up there recording a nigga's wife trying to get dirt and then try to use the shit later on.
And we addressed that. We had to record his wife, because if we didn't, she would have said that we lying, and then he would have said that we lying. And you see how he's running with stuff now. That's what everybody has to do with him. That's why the sisters like, yeah, man, I still got these messages, because he's going to come out and say she's lying, and he's going to try to say everything. But that's why everybody you have to keep evidence against somebody that's like him. You got to keep evidence against somebody that's like his family. You have to, because if you don't, man, they going to deny the shit, and then it's going to continue. That's why a lot of people stop messing with him for that very reason. So that's why we have evidence against his wife.
In the world, in the world,
no. That's
in the
not
world,
sucker
I'm not
shit
trying to
because
even get recorded. It's such a
best
sucker.
it's
I just seen this video. I just seen this out of Ben said something about it. It's just like that's a weak ass character, my nigga. You up there recording a nigga's wife trying to get dirt and then try to use the shit later on.
And he said, let me address it. He said recording a brother's wife trying to get dirt. We wasn't trying to get dirt. Everything that she was saying, we was going back telling him. So we wasn't trying to get no dirt. How are you trying to get dirt? I hope if my wife called any of you brothers, I hope y'all bring that stuff back to me. I wouldn't say you trying to get dirt, because if she's evil, then my wife is evil. I wouldn't put that on you, and I wouldn't say you trying to get dirt. There's no dirt to get if you ain't doing nothing. What dirt can she say if you ain't doing nothing? What dirt can my wife say if all I'm doing all day, every day is I'm at home chilling, talking to the brothers. We talking about the land and the stuff that we got going on. What dirt can LaDonna say? She can't say anything. There is no dirt.
Shit. In the world,
no.
In the world, I'm not trying to even.
That's not sucker shit, because men sometimes can fall victim to sucker shit.
The shit late just seen.
I want y'all to pay attention to what Emanon says, because Maharaka's like, man, you recording women? You know what I'm saying? That's some sucker shit. Emanon says, no, that ain't sucker shit. Listen to it. And Emanon's going to tell you why.
Out of Ben says something about it. It's just like that's a weak ass character, my nigga. You up there recording a nigga's wife trying to get dirt and then try to use the shit later on. That's some sucker ass shit. In the world, in the world,
no.
In the world, I'm not trying to even.
That's not sucker shit, because men sometimes can fall victim to sucker shit. What that is,
you see that? So Emanon says, no, that ain't sucker shit, because brothers that get caught up in the world, sometimes they got to record that shit because women be doing shit. But then right after that, he says, but that's some tampon shit. I'm like, that don't make any sense. You just said in the word, like, you got to record yourself because women to do sucker shit. Ain't that what his wife did? She did some sucker shit, didn't she? She did some sucker shit to him, and she did some sucker shit to Judah by trying to tell Judah that he need to keep it a secret. That's sucker shit. So you're right, Emanon.
Ass shit. In the world,
in the world, no. That's not
world,
sucker
I'm not
shit,
trying to even.
That's not sucker shit, because men sometimes can fall victim to sucker shit. What that is tampon energy.
So now it's tampon energy. If you just said if you record a sister because you got to protect yourself, because in the world that's what they do. So how do you go from no, it's not sucker shit to now it's tampon shit? All right then.
Your string hanging out your drawers,
nigga. Like niggas is doing way too much in the truth. Call the truth, my nigga. Like for real, son.
It ain't the truth.
Like
it's
for real.
Like
for real, niggas. If niggas wasn't really trying to be about the script, bro, and about the Most High, niggas, I'll tell you right now what I would do. I'm not a smoker. I could take 1 or 2 pulls, but that's not me. I'll be bad passive if I get on some smoke shit. You feel me? But I get that motherfucking Terramana in my ass, my nigga. I'm ready to roll and rock on a nigga. I'm telling you right now. Straight like that, son. Like, that's how I rolled in the world, my nigga. I'm gonna get the drink. I'm gonna fucking toss that fucking 40 up. Take a shot, nigga. I'm on. I'm ready, my nigga. Like, y'all niggas is playing out here, yo.
So he said out his own mouth that in the world, you know what I'm saying, he would have drank some Terramana, take a couple of shots or whatever, drank a 40, it would have been on. You just read from a message out of his own mouth that that's what he did with the sister. That's how he becomes violent. That he was drinking, and then all of a sudden he come enraged, and then he put his hands on people. He just said it right here in the audio. But he's saying in the world, but he was doing that in the truth. That when he put his hands on the sister, that wasn't in the world, that was in the truth. When he body slammed the wall, that wasn't in the world, that was in the truth. And it all lines up. That he drinks and he's abusive. He said it out his own mouth. It be on. Now he's a brawler. The Bible tells you to stay away from a man who's violent and a brawler. He's telling y'all these things. He's telling y'all these things, that he's violent and he's a brawler and he puts hands on people. He just said what he would have did in the world. Sisters are messaging and like, nah, man, he was doing that to me. And the truth, he was violent. He was a brawler. He would get drunk. He said it himself. Man, hey, I'm sorry when I had help with the liquor and I attacked you. He's a violent man. I'm not accusing him of anything. He's saying these things himself. And now he's threatened my life twice. Twice, Judah Mack, flag my channel, snitch, and I'm dropping your location and phone number to your ops, nigga. That's what he said. That's a man 30 years in that now he can threaten to kill you? And ain't none of y'all like, hey, man, hold on, man. You saying too much. You doing too much. I think it's time to visit the Ozarks again this weekend. People going to find out the Bible won't save them. I'm Woody on the lackey. So again, for me, once it gets to that point, man, where brothers now they want to kill you, I bow out, man. I bow out. You know what I'm saying? Whoever wants to listen to this brother, or if he got any other stuff to say, I don't care what he has to say from this moment forward, because once it gets to the point where you're talking about killing somebody, I'm done, because I don't wish that on nobody. If I ever feel like I got to put my hands on anybody or shoot anybody or stab anybody or harm anybody, that's why I know I got to draw the line. And for me and you, since you be willing to take it there, then for the both of us, I'll be the one to bow out, because I don't want that smoke, man. I don't want that for you. I'd hate for you to be in jail and something happen, and I don't want that for me, because I don't want me to be in jail or something happen, man. I don't wish that on either one of us. So whatever you say from here on out, man, I'm cool with that. I think me not saying nothing or the brothers not saying nothing to protect everybody, you know what I'm saying, from you having to call Judas ops or come down here and, you know what I'm saying, and the Bible don't save none of us. So I bow out, man. You got it from here, Broham. Shalom. Hey, shalom, everybody. This one's going to be brief. For anybody who watched the video I did earlier, it's about an hour and a half breaking down receipts of things that's been said and been done. So Maharaka's wife, I'm assuming it was her. You know, he could have jumped on and pretended to be her, but that's neither here nor there. You know, if you decide to jump on there and do what you did, then it is what it is. So I just want to address this because other people will be like, well, she said that you were lying. So, brother, you must be lying. You got to have receipts. Otherwise, you lying. Otherwise, you lying. So I'm going to show y'all. This is the sister. It says, this her name, Tasha. That's Tasha. And it says, they was having a threesome and I asked them to leave my house. This man is wicked as fuck and I don't want them spirits in my house. Wicked ass man. This is him. It's talking about Maharakai having a threesome with Nawai and Miss Judah in her house. She didn't appreciate that. So I'm just bringing it out just to show y'all that nobody's lying about the shit.